I had never gone more than 6 weeks without drinking before I got sober, before I finally actually got sober. And 6 weeks seemed like forever. Couldn't make it 6 months. I couldn't make it 6 years. But one little shift in the way that I approached it changed everything. I'm not going to waste your time. I'm just going to get right into it. So what I did was I stopped thinking about forever, first of all. I started thinking about 1 year because I figured if I could make it 1 year, then I knew I could make it 2 years, right? And how I made it 1 year was that I stopped thinking about it in terms of being eternal forever because it's too abstract. I couldn't comprehend what that means. And plus, thinking about forever, if I had made it to 100 days of sobriety or a year of sobriety and my goal was forever, that's still pretty inconsequential. In fact, statistically, it's 0, right? But I digress. What I did was I took the number 100, which represented 100% of my goal. I divided that by the number of days in a year, 365. And that gave me a percentage. Each day now represented a small percentage of my goal. Again, my goal was a year because it was a discrete amount of time. And the percentage that I came to was 0.27%, which roughly translated to every 4 days I was achieving 1% of my goal. And that meant in 40 days, that was 10% of my goal. And so instead of 6 weeks being just 6 weeks, just counting the number of days, 6 weeks suddenly became 11.3% of my goal. Like 42 days became 11.3%. I knew that I had already accomplished over 10% of my goal, so that motivated me to keep going. See, the thing about willpower and motivation sounds great, and we all look at people who've accomplished great things, and we think about the willpower that they've had. That runs out, that gets depleted. How you refill it is you make milestones, mile markers that you can notice along your journey, so that when you get discouraged, when you start having cravings, because they don't necessarily go away after 6 weeks, you can right the ship. You can find your true north by looking at the mile markers that you have most recently walked past and think, I have come this far. I can keep going because I know I have made it this far. I know how I can continue to put the carrot in front of me to motivate me to keep going, right? Once upon a time, 6 weeks seemed like forever. And also it wasn't nearly enough. There were some times on that journey to 6 weeks where it felt like I would just stop drinking for a day. You know, I still had intense levels of desire, craving. I romanticized drinking. And when I had started using this percentage strategy, I still had those. I still had those cravings. I still had those bad days. But I also could look at how much I had accomplished already. I could project how much I would accomplish in the next day, 2 days, maybe even a week. I wouldn't get too far ahead of myself. But it became something that I could kind of use as a buoy. As you're floating in the ocean of sobriety and you're looking for land, you're looking for a place to like anchor yourself to, having those accomplishments, those wins stacked that I could see, that helped me to find my bearings and keep going. Now, this is what worked for me. You might rely on the 12 Steps program, AA, tried and true. You might use therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, or you might read books, or you might take medication in conjunction with these other forms, these other modalities of therapy, and that might work for you. That's the most important thing. You find what works for you. Thanks for watching.